Fly 6 hours east of Jakarta and you arrive at West Papua. This is the location of the Udan Emas block, an area of over 5,000 square kilometers, 7 times the size of Singapore. Cradled in the neck of what is called the Bird's Head is Teluk Aguni, an inland waterway with sparsely populated forested hills on one side and mountainous ridges on the other. Udan Emas was explored in the 1970s, but the surveys only targeted relatively young, shallow limestone formations. The wells were dry. But KrisEnergy believes that the real prize lies much deeper. 150 million years ago, in the Jurassic era, this area was covered by large coastal river deltas. Fine silts and sands were deposited on the continental shelf. Then, over the next 100 million years, the Jurassic sands, known as Roabiba sandstone, were slowly buried under layer upon layer of clays, coals, and eventually limestone. Heat and pressure created hydrocarbons that migrated into the Jurassic sands. In the last 10 million years, huge tectonic forces have buckled and folded the crust to throw up the New Guinea Central Range of mountains. And it is these stresses that have trapped the hydrocarbons 3,000 meters below the surface. This is evidenced by large gas finds to the north of Udan Emas, and at Tangguh, BP has already established a high-capacity LNG plant. Recent discoveries have been made even closer to the block. And the 1974 survey suggests that the Jurassic sandstones extend into Udan Emas. But the old seismic did not target these deeper formations, so the picture is incomplete. KrisEnergy is planning 2 new surveys. An airborne gravity and magnetic survey will be undertaken by specialist aircraft. This will help identify the broad subsurface structure. And an extensive 2D seismic survey is planned to look in detail at the area abutting the mountains, where they sweep majestically northwards. 11 lines of seismic are to be shot, making a total length of 300 kilometers. The ground along each line must be cleared of vegetation to a width of 1.5 meters, but trees are left in place. About 40 small helipads and skyholes will need to have trees removed. But vegetation will reclaim the land within months of work finishing, and any removed trees will be replaced. At 50-meter intervals along each line, a hole will be drilled to a depth of 25 meters and loaded with an explosive charge. Special drill bits are needed to penetrate the hard limestone. Geophones are planted in the ground every 1.4 meters along the entire seismic line and connected in receiver groups to recording equipment in temporary camps. When each charge is detonated, the geophones will pick up innumerable reflections as they bounce off layers of rock beneath the surface. A total of 6,000 shot holes and 12,000 receiver groups will image the subsurface. The drilling and shooting of the seismic lines will take about 4 months. The intensity of this survey, coupled with the advances in technology over the last 40 years, will deliver an image resolution far better than the previous seismic. There are challenges. Close to half the area is covered by the Teluk Aguni Bay, with a water depth of generally less than 5 meters. Drill boats will be used to bury the charges to the same depth as on land. At this depth, the equivalent of a 7-story building, the detonation poses no risk to the fish population. And protecting the fish is key to gaining cooperation from the local Papuan communities. The bay is a prolific source of ganadi, a fish whose swim bladder is highly prized in Asia. Mangrove and razor-sharp nipa palm cloak the shoreline and are vital to the ecological balance of the area, so locations have been carefully mapped to minimize damage. Over a year and a half has been spent negotiating with the government, local subsistence farmers and fishermen to obtain land rights and ensure community approval for the project. A social aid programme has started to provide help with education and water wells. Detailed logistical planning has been needed to ensure safe operations in an area this remote. A main base camp at Wawasi will house a team of 100 people. At its peak, the survey will employ some 1,500 people, most of them from the local communities. A bunker has been built on the coast nearby to secure the 20 tons of explosives required. This complex survey will be undertaken with care and sensitivity. The results will pave the way for exploration drilling that will unlock the hydrocarbons trapped under Udan Emas.